did I do?
What'd you do? You jumped the gun, you little bastard!
I did not.
What?
Did not.
Yeah, you did.
Of course I did.
Yeah, you jumped the gun. You know why?
Why?
Because I wasn't here to film anything. So anyways, what you're looking at here, right here, this is the bottom end of the engine oil pump. Mr. Tim decided that he would take this apart before I got here, which is fine, I don't care. It's just you guys are missing out, not me. I've seen this crap before. Alright, so what I'm doing right now is I'm removing the screen. What the hell was that?
My light.
Okay. I'm removing the screen from the... Hold on to this thing, I don't want to lose it. It's cast iron, I could break. From the bottom of the sump on this oil pump. Where the hell did that come off? There it is. See, there's a gasket on it. You don't really want to screw it up. Oh well, the gasket's all screwed up. So, as dirty and filthy as this thing is, I don't think that this is so much the problem as this over here.
Here, you ready for this magic?
Go ahead, dig in. I'd like to know what these are.
I think they're the outsides that are bearings.
It is a soft aluminum type material, so it's not steel, so it's got to be bearing material.
Look, you see the water in it?
Yeah, there's water in it. Where's the drain plug on that thing? Get that thing drained out over top of something.
It's right here.
Huh?
Right there.
Okay, so here's what's going to happen. Hold on a second. Here's what's going to happen. Mr. Tim is going to take this oil pan, he's going to put it over an old bucket that's empty, and he's going to pour diesel fuel in there, swash it all around, and then drain it out. Get that cleaned out. I am going to go with gum cutter and starting fluid, and I'm going to clean this portion of the pump up, and then I'm going to get under here, because here's the other half of the gear pump. This is the driven side of the gear pump, or the drive side of the gear pump, that's the driven side. This thing does have, yeah, this engine does, there's nothing wrong with the sleeves that I could see. But what I'm going to do is actually pull the mains and the rods and change out those bearings. Yes, Tim. Huh?
Give it a quick turnover.
No. I don't want to see that thing coming at me, because I got a feeling that those shavings are actually from the main bearings. But I want to pull the main down now. I may have to pull the oil pump completely out because I may have to pull the oil pump completely out. I know I will, to get this main right here, this one right here. And I'm just going to use gum cutter and clean that all up really nice and clean and see what the problem is. I'm almost 100% certain that it is from the shit that is in the bottom of that pan, because with that screen being in the condition that it's in, and the amount of stuff that's in the bottom, what I think has been happening is you can start the tractor up and it'll run just fine, okay? It'll run just fine. You take it out the driveway and it'll run just fine, but if you get halfway between here and my mom and dad's house, that's when the filter plugs up, and then you don't have any more oil pressure. It plugs the filter. So yeah, so I know that it actually ran the engine dry of oil. I don't see any scoring on the cylinder sleeves on the bottom sides of them, so I got a pretty good idea that we don't have to do an in-frame overhaul kit, but we will have to do the bottom end. So anyways, I'm going to run down to the auto parts store. I'm just going to call John Deere direct and have them drop ship me rods and main bearings. But that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to need to seal the engine seal, or the gasket here. I don't think there's anything that seals that. That's supposed to be a dry. That's dry. So he's going to get this all sloshed around, and I'm going to go ahead and start work on this pump, see what the heck we come up with. Okay, so we got more trouble than we thought. Spun that main, did not spin this one, but it spun this one. This is the one that has the thrust washers on it. Crank doesn't have much, there's no real damage on it, just a little smearing from when they dried up and grabbed. So I think the crank is okay. Pull the rod down. Rod bearings are fine. They're fine. I'm going to pull this rod next. I'll have Timothy pull it. Go ahead and get that wrench up there and pull that rod down. You know what? Anyway, let me get that other rod down. You might want to turn it the other direction. Sorry. Anyway, let me get some gloves on. Loose. Yep. Both of them? Yep. You're not hit me in the head. There. Where's the light? Yeah, turn the wrong damn way. Okay. I'm hoping that these rods are not all spun, because it's gonna... I mean, mains are one thing, rods are another. It's really kind of disheartening. I didn't want to have to see spun rod or main bearings. Anyway, careful with that. Here. Do not. Kind of hold this now. I'm going to tap this thing side to side. There, see if we can tap that up through there. Screwdriver. Pry that off of there. Here it comes. Now, hold on. Look at that. See, these things lock on. They got like... Okay, what do we got? Spun. Where's the bearing? I think it's spun.
It's stuck on there.
The bearing is stuck on her. Did it spin or no spin?
I'm praying it spun.
Get out of here.
I think so. No, it didn't.
Nah, it didn't. You know how you can tell whether it's spun or not?
Chevy's.
Right here. No, right here. The grabber. See that little lip?
Yeah.
It didn't spin, but it ain't in very good shape. But the... Alright, well, at least the journals are okay.
It's got a number on here.
Of course, should say 1081.
Yes.
Right there, that was these are Clevite. This is a remanufactured block. Remanufactured short block. Back in 1981 or 82, after my grandfather died, we had an injection pump repaired on this tractor, and the seals, when they put it together, the seals leaked and dumped a bunch of diesel fuel down into the engine. Did you dump a gallon of gasoline into that thing? Ain't gonna soak shit. Anyway, so spun the rod, spun the main, spun everything to the point where by the time he got it home here, it was blowing blue smoke out the stack. He had totally fried the engine. So that got a new short block. This, I don't think we're in that bad a shape. I'm gonna show you how to fix a spun bearing on an engine. Tim's bleeding. You know why he's bleeding?
He did it.
Bearing come flying out of the engine, just like a Dodge. Boom! Hit him right in the face. You know what the hell to do. Anyway, yeah. So that's what the plan is. We'll get the rest of those out of there, and I'm going to pull all but the two end mains, and the rods, we're just going to leave them in there until I get the bearing sets. And then we'll fix Mr. Tim. Go ahead and crank that last one out of there. Come on. Oh, Muscles. Muscle Mania. I'm going to show you that. That's a main bearing. This has 7 mains on it. We've got 6 of the 7 mains out. And of the 7 mains, I have, what, 2 spun? This one here. This one spun here. And this one here spun. This one did not. So, or maybe it's, no, this one did not. This one spun here, and this one here spun. So I got 2 spun bearings on here, but they didn't spin very long. So I'm not really concerned for the condition of where the bearing rides in the block. I think the block is okay, because it just looks like it spun a little bit. It wasn't bad at all. Now I'm just looking to see if the front one spun, and then me and Tim are going to go ahead and start pulling rods. Right, Tim? What do we got? It did not spin. Okay, so cool. Ooh. Did it spin or did it not spin? Now you got to show me the ends. It did not spin. You see this little tab here? That's the locking tab. If that tab is gone, you spun your bearing, even if you're not sure. So, okay, that's that for those. Tim, I'm going to show you what we've done here. I'm trying to get up out of this hole. What we have done is we have put the main bearing blocks in order from 1 to 7. Number 4 is the one with a thrust washer on it. These thrust washers, well, of course when the bearings spun, of course these things spun too. But it didn't do any damage to the block that I could see.
FM.
Yeah, they're FMs. So anyway, so that's what we're doing there, and we've got these 2. These are the 2 piston or rod bearings, rod caps. I don't know. We got the numbers on those? Yeah, I forget. One is like number 3 and the other one's 5 or something like that. It's there someplace.
That's 2 and this is 5.
2 and 5. So number 2 and number 5 are out, and what I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and pull the rod bearings out, and we're going to line them up too and see if there's any there. So far, between out of the 6, I've only taken 2 rod bearings out. You can't hear me because I'm covering up that stupid thing. The 2 rod bearings. Now we're going to go pull the other 4 rod bearings out, and hold on, we'll see if we've spun anything on the rods. Now if I spun a rod bearing, that's going to be a whole nother world of bullshit, because then I got to pull the head to change the rod. So, not looking forward to that if I spun a rod bearing, but I kind of have a feeling I got a rod knot. I don't know. I just drove it over here last night, and I didn't hear any knocking. Doesn't mean it didn't spin, though. When you spin a rod bearing, generally the rod is junk. So, we'll see what happens. All right, so here's this sad state of affairs we got. Somebody's trying to call me here. Anyway, I'll have to call him right back. We've got main bearings, main bearing blocks, rod blocks. We got all these effed up bearings here, and for the most part, shit, somebody is calling me. So I'm back. I just got a phone call saying Desperado tried to run somebody over. Can you believe that?
What?
Desperado tried to run somebody over. So I'm gonna have to have a little talk with Desperado on truck driving etiquette. Anyway, yeah, so this is what I've got. I've got, actually, this one spun. This is a main bearing, and it spun. Didn't spin bad. I can still read the date in it, so that means that it's not so bad that it took a tiny little date out. This one here, you can see it right there. So it's still got the dates in it, so I'm not really concerned too much about that spun bearing. But there is a rod one that's spun, if I can find it. And here it is. This one's spun a little more severe, I think, but not the worst. Oh, here it is. Here's the cap of the spun bearing. So usually they'll get a wicked lip on the edge of them, and this one doesn't have that. And a lot of times you see where that clip is. That'll wear out. So there's a trick to fixing these things if they've got a mild spin and you're not really sure. I mean, you can mic it to make sure that it's still round, but you know what I'm saying. It's going to be a tricky subject here. So what you do is you use a product, and I will show it to you when I'm ready to put it together. And I'm sure some guys know this trick already. Timothy does not, but he's going to learn. And I've done this trick. I've done this trick on many different occasions. I think it was a Kohler or maybe an Onan engine. I think it was a Kohler engine. It had replaceable bearings into it. And I spun the bearing pretty bad, and I used the trick that I'm going to use on this 4320. And I'll tell you, for the life that I used that tractor and the abuse that I gave that tractor, that lawn tractor, after I had done that fix. So if it worked on that, it'll definitely work on this thing. The oil pump is fine. Like I showed earlier, the screen was really pretty ugly. It had a bunch of crap in the screen, but I'm not really worried too much about the screen now because it's all nice and clean. You can see through it. I cleaned it out. So anyways, that's enough for today. So if you like these videos, please comment, rate, and subscribe. Don't forget to check out One Lonely Farmer. The link is in the description below. And what the heck else did I want to say? Yeah. Thanks for watching.